Hi, my name is Jan Kennedy, CEO at the Academy for Corporate Entrepreneurship. I want to give you a quick introduction into why we help Fortune 500 companies design and implement intrapreneurship programs. Over the next 5 minutes or so, I'll cover why corporates need intrapreneurship, how to structure intrapreneurship, and how to identify the entrepreneurs. First, we have to understand that startups are growing, innovating, adding value, and disrupting faster than ever before, often to the combined detriment of big listed companies. It's actually predicted that 75% of the S&P will be replaced by 2028. While it took HP 20 years to become a billion-dollar company, recently Slack achieved that valuation within 8 months of launching. Just 5 years ago, there were only a few billion-dollar startups, but as of March 2016, we see about 130 of them, most of which were created within the last few years. Now, it's not common that a startup will completely disrupt an established player like what Netflix did to Blockbuster, but what will be more prevalent is this idea of death by 1,000 cuts, where lots of smaller fish will take a piece of the pie faster than how the big corporates can react. It's actually interesting that many successful entrepreneurs come from corporates. The average entrepreneur has 14 years of work experience. Intel was founded out of frustration when key employees of Fairchild Semiconductor were not allowed to pursue ideas they had around silicon gate technology. Jobs and Wozniak could not convince HP or Atari that they should develop smaller computers, so they founded Apple. Joe Tanner was working at DuPont and was not allowed to explore some of his ideas because he didn't have an advanced degree. He therefore moved to Gore, where they didn't care about his degree, and he developed Gore-Tex, the material for your skiing and outdoor clothing. Even Google is not immune to this. The founders of Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and many more have left Google out of frustration. It's not necessarily a new trend, but it will be a growing one with the millennials entering the workforce, and 71% of them are already saying they'd rather work for themselves. Now, inside corporates, what often happens is that new ideas get pushed too quickly into the incubation stage to start building the solution. We become very concerned with building that solution in an efficient way. We're betting quite big early on that the idea is actually worth it, and we haven't done much due diligence to test those underlying assumptions. And often, as a result, we end up building the wrong thing. We must test our assumptions earlier. This is what organizations like the Founder Institute have been doing with startups, and Intuit, a large corporate, have been applying this methodology within their organization. Adeo Ressi, the founder of the Founder Institute, has been described by the New York Times as an entrepreneur who manufactures entrepreneurs. Back then, none of the Silicon Valley gurus thought it was possible to innovate outside of the Valley. They said that everyone should go to the Valley in order to launch a startup. But we are doing it. In Mexico City, Mumbai, Madrid, Miami, Munich, Montreal, Mali, Malaysia, and even Kabul, Afghanistan, entrepreneurs are launching successful companies at a rate of 1,000 per year. 80% of these companies are surviving, and 45% go on to receive seed funding. After 8 years, the portfolio is now worth in excess of $25 billion. So the question we are asking ourselves is, how can we get corporates to launch hundreds or 1,000 ideas per year, with the majority developing into successful ventures? We need to foster the entrepreneurial skills and the mindset. It turns out that up to 15% of the workforce could be suited for entrepreneurship, and we can identify who those people are. Successful entrepreneurs share common characteristic traits such as their preference to solve problems or to be curious and imaginative. This is not about who has the idea, but who is more likely to be successful in developing the idea into a new viable venture. By working with social scientists, we have an accurate test that can screen for potential entrepreneurs. In order to know that we are working on the right thing, we need to research the problem and the customer, the solution that would make the customer passionate, and how to bring it to market in order to convince the customer, and then how to increase awareness and implement a business model before actually building the solution. This process can be broken down into weekly stages where teams can apply early stage experiments to test customer behavior. They will make decisions based on evidence rather than people's opinions on what they think might happen. They will be testing their most critical assumptions to see if and how they can build a business around their idea. This approach increases the success rate of new projects and actually forms the backbone of our core Intrapreneurship program. We have to remember that the best entrepreneurs don't go it alone. They seek out mentors that can guide them and keep them honest. We offer the same for our entrepreneurs. 4 mentors will guide you through the program along with a dedicated program director. Now, these mentors are all experienced experts, having managed innovation within corporates, as well as having worked with entrepreneurial startup ventures. Don't make the mistake of only relying on internal ventures, who might be great for industry expertise in navigating the corporate immune system, but might not know how to build a startup in an efficient way. Now, as a next step, I'd like to encourage you all to spend 15 minutes using our free Intrapreneurship program design tool. You will learn about the building blocks you need to consider when designing your own Intrapreneurship program. The link is at the bottom of this video as well. My name is Jan Kennedy, CEO at the Academy for Corporate Entrepreneurship. I'd like to thank you for listening.